Physics in 1901. X-rays have many properties. Based on the penetrating properties of radiation, it is used in diagnosis. The property of cell killing of radiation is used in therapy. Another property of radiation is X-ray is ionizing, which produce biological effects. X-ray is the source of radiation we use for the radiological investigation. We are scared of this radiation because of its ionizing property, which has the potential to initiate biological effect. Hence, safety should be a big concern. For safety, ALARA principle is being used. ALARA is an acronym for as low as reasonably achievable. ALARA insists that any radiological investigation on the patient is justified and the amount of radiation dose delivered to the patient should be optimized. Atomic Energy Regulatory Board is the competent authority constituted by the Government of India in 1983. It is entrusted with the responsibility of developing and implementing appropriate regulatory measures aimed at ensuring radiation safety in all applications involving ionizing radiation. Coming to the interaction of radiation with matter, ideally, a beam of X-ray, that is primary radiation, should be transmitted into a material. However, the interaction of X-ray with matter is more complex than simply passing through. On reaching a material, some of the X-ray will be observed and some are scattered. These are called secondary radiation. The protection measures should be taken against the secondary radiation. As you can see in this image, this is called as a primary radiation, which comes from the X-ray tube. And the secondary radiation is the leakage radiation, which coming any side of the X-ray tube, and the scatter radiation and absorb radiation. Coming to the biological effects of radiation, that is categorized in is deterministic effect, also called as a non-stochastic effect, and second is the stochastic effect. Coming to the deterministic effect, when a number of people were exposed to the same dose of radiation and certain symptoms appears 1% of them, said dose is considered to be a threshold dose. In a simple manner, we can say if a patient or a technician comes under a radiation, the effect will be seen when the threshold dose is reached. Whereas in stochastic effect, it assuming that effect would appear depending on the dose level, that is a spontaneous incident, and it has no threshold dose. As I said, in deterministic effect, there is a threshold dose. As it reaches the threshold dose, the effect will be seen. For example, if the patient or a technician received a amount of 0.25 sievert to 1.0 sievert, the effect seen is change in the blood picture, decrease in the blood count. Coming to stochastic effect, the stochastic effect further categorized into three. First, the somatic effect. Second, the fetal effect. Third is the genetic effect. Somatic effect, such as acute radiation syndrome, skin erythema, air loss, sterility, etc. In fetal effect, the fetal dose is related to the stage of pregnancy and the absorbed dose, and the effect will be seen as a embryo-fetal disorder, mental retardation, etc. The last one is genetic effect, which is a hereditary effect. Any effect seen in a particular generation can be continue for the further generation. Radiation caution symbols. This type of symbols must have seen in the hospital and the industry which use a radiation. These symbols indicate that there is a radiation active and the entry is prohibited. This type of symbol has seen in the hospital, in which the caution is written in the three languages. First in the English, second in the official language Hindi, and the third language will be a regional language, so that each and every category of person should understand and read. X-ray radiation based machines, that are fixed radiography units, mobile radiography units such as portables, orthopantomogram machine, fluoroscopy unit, mammography unit, computer tomography, CM unit. And the another department which have the radioactive resources are nuclear medicine department, which use the isotope technetium in iodine. It emits a beta and gamma radiation. Radioactive substances in the form of a liquid is given to the patient either orally or intravenously. Restricted entry into the facility and the radioactive contamination and spillage area. Now, the radiation safety in diagnostic radiology is considered for the patient, personnel, and the public. So we'll be discussing one by one on this. And the special attention should be given to a pregnant patient and the pediatric patient, and also a pregnant lady who is working under a radiation zone. Radiation safety to the personnel. Personnel means the person who works under a radiation, that is ourselves, or a radiographers, and a people who work in a industry comes under a radiation zone. The radiation safety of the personnel is carried by time distance shielding. The above work practice ensure reduction in the radiation dose to the personnel. So let us discuss one by one. Minimize time spent with radiation. As I said, the only person whose presence is necessary shall be present inside the room during a radiation exposure. Maximize the distance the radiation worker maintains from X-ray tube and patient. For that, we use an inverse square law. The inverse square law describes the principle of dose reduction as the distance from the source increases. So let us assume that this is the X-ray source and the X-ray source is on. The X-rays are emerging out. So you can see as the distance increases, the light luminescence is decreasing. Hence, to compare it with this image, this is the X-ray source. As the distance increases, the dose also decreases. Okay, so as we double the distance, the intensity of our X-ray will decrease by factor 4. In conventional radiography, the distance between the chest stand and the control console should be at least 3 meters. So you can see in this image, the X-ray stand is here and the control panel is at the distance of at least 3 meters. During mobile radiographic exposure, after wearing lead apron, the technologist shall maintain a distance of at least 6 feet from the patient and the X-ray field. So you can see here, this is a picture of a portable X-ray taking in a ward or ICU. And after positioning, the distance should be maintained with the 6 feet with wearing a lead apron. Incorporate appropriate shielding device. During exposure, stay inside the control booth. If the presence needed inside the radiation room, lead apron should be compulsorily worn by all the persons like doctors, technician, nurse. For a prolonged fluoroscopic procedure, along with apron, wear goggles and gloves. No direct radiation exposure. Bare or even lead gloved hand shall not be exposed to primary beam. These are the lead protective devices and the thickness is okay. As I said, should not stand near to the X-ray tube. You should always stand away from the X-ray tube or opposite of the X-ray tube, any side of the detector. So this is in this image you can see here. This is the X-ray tube and this is the image receptor, and the doctor is standing away from the X-ray tube, not direct contact with the X-ray tube. Oh. Radiation safety to the personnel, the female technician who is pregnant. If the female technician found pregnant, the radiation worker shall formally inform the radiation safety officer. 2 TLD batch will be issued. One will be issued for the mother for monitoring herself, and another is given for the monitoring the fetus. The work assignment shall be changed so that it does not involve a probability of any radiation hazard. During this time, you can shift the female radiation worker for a non-radiation zone. For example, ultrasound or MRI. How to give protection to a pregnant patient. Follow 28-day rule for routine radiographic examination. Follow 10-day rule for high dose procedure, for example, fluoroscopy, CT, or nuclear medicine. Use lead apron, double-sided lead apron, tie below abdominal level at the pelvic region. Use high kV technique. Radiation safety to a general public. So as you can see here, this is one of the good X-ray room design or a layout. Okay. The next one is, how do we know whether the radiation is on or not? It is a notice that radiation is on. The warning is the red light and a symbol. So at every door, you can see here the red light is on whenever the radiation procedure is going on, and the symbol should be pasted on the door. Avoid involuntary entry during exposure. During radiation exposure, for example, lead line door kept open. So it should not be a good practice, because unknowingly, a general public, any person can enter without knowing. Lead line door kept, but lead line door kept closed but not latched. If it is not locking or locking the door, there's a chances that by mistake anyone can open the door. The good practice is lead line doors kept closed and it should be latched. Radiation monitoring devices. Radiation level should be monitored periodically so as to ensure that the value do not cross the restricted limits. So this is the area monitoring device. Generally, you will be seeing this in the nuclear medicine department, and this is a personal monitoring device which we called as a TLD batch. Personal monitoring device. To measure the occupational radiation dose, every radiation worker is issued a personal monitoring device in the form of a batch, that is thermoluminescent dosimeter. Monitoring is done at a regular intervals to ensure compliance with the restricted dose limit. So you can see here the thermoluminescence dosimeter batches. When you open it, the cassette will be seen like this, and inside that you will be having a metal chip with the 3 holes here. So ARB recommended dose limits. For an occupational, cumulative dose should not exceed 100 millisievert for a block of 5 years, that means 20 millisievert per year. And for the trainee, it should not exceed 6 millisievert. And for a public, it should not exceed more than 1 millisievert per year. For a region-wise, for an organ, lens of the eye, the dose limit is 150 millisievert per year. For skin is 500 millisievert per year. Hands and feet 500 millisievert per year. Abdomen of pregnant worker not to exceed 2 millisievert for the remainder of a pregnancy. Most of the commonly asked question related to TLD batches. Who should use TLD batch? The TLD batch should be used by any person occupationally exposed to ionizing radiation such as X-rays, gamma rays, beta particle, etc. When to use TLD batch? The TLD batch to be worn at all times when occupationally exposed. Where to store TLD batch when not in use? The TLD batch shall be stored in a locker which is situated in a radiation-free zone. What is the frequency of changing the TLD card? every quarterly, once in a 3 months. Where to wear TLD badge? The TLD badge shall be worn at chest level. If lead apron is used, the TLD badge shall be worn inside the lead apron. As you can see here, this is the correct practice of wearing a wearing a TLD badge if you're wearing a lead apron. The TLD badge should not be seen outside the lead apron. This is a wrong practice. Some of the mostly asked questions. If the radiation worker is in the patient status and has to undergo an investigation involving ionizing radiation, can he or she wear TLD badge? The answer is no. What to do if the TLD badge is damaged and lost? It is the responsibility of each badge recipient to wear and use the badges properly without damaging or losing it. If the badge is damaged or lost, the radiation worker shall inform about it to the RSO in the form of a written statement. In case if you're working in a small diagnostic center and you don't have any radiation safety over there, you can inform to your management and the doctor. Can two radiation workers exchange their TLD badge? No. Can a radiation worker after resigning and retirement transfer his or her TLD badge to a freshly joined radiation worker? No. No radiation is a safe radiation. Wish you all great success in implementing radiation safety in your workplace. Thank you very much.